Welcome back, YouTube. It's time to get working on the 59 again, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this dash. So I got a bunch of pieces here. All in all, I had about 16 pieces that I had to paint for the dash. All that is done already. Here are the knee knockers. I did buff out my dash already, so that thing is really slick. It's a little dusty, but this thing is super smooth. Mirror finish came out great. So this is the first thing I'm going to start working on. I'm going to go ahead and put all these pieces because I'm really running out of space. I have this car all over the attic. Some pieces are in the house, and I'm ready just to put everything back together. So I'm going to go ahead and do the dash, and then after that I'm going to go ahead and do the glass. So I'm going to go ahead. Here are all my aluminum pieces. I did cut these out for the AC. I got my AC vents ready to go. There is a separate video on how and when I cut these. So if you want to go check that out, I'll put the link on here so you can look at it. I cut the holes in the dash, boom, boom, over there. And then right here for the vents. So I'm gonna start with all these pieces. They're really fragile and I've been moving them back and forth here and there, and I really don't want to damage them. So I just cleaned them up with a little bit of 000 steel wool and some reducer. They came out really nice. They had a little bit of, I guess, just dirt, man. It was not overspray because I wasn't spraying around them, but it just had like dirt on them. But they're nice and smooth now, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that. Where everything is just falling right into place. I mean, it took me longer to find the little nuts and bolts for everything than to install it. These little aluminum pieces, luckily they didn't put any adhesive behind it, and it's really just snapped in by this little trim, and now it's also held in by the vent. So these, you just kind of hook them under, and then this little top trim, it just snaps in and it holds it right in place. The ignition also holds it in place, and those two, the lights and the wiper switch, hold that up into place. The AC vent, I still need to put it on, will also hold it into place. So I'm just grateful that nobody put any kind of glue behind these, because these things are thin. They're really, really thin, very fragile. They probably have the consistency of maybe like a Coke can, you know. It's just really thin, so they're easy to get mangled. So if it did have any kind of glue behind them, I probably would have left them and then just taped them, because they're just so easy to bend, easy to mess up. But whenever I was removing them, when I popped this off, it literally just fell off. So I'm happy about that. All of that is just falling right into place. Super easy. Really all I've used is this screwdriver for mostly everything. And coincidentally, this screwdriver was under my carpet, the original factory carpet. And this car was completely unmolested. It was an original car. And I did look up the part number and the brand on it, and that company has since gone out of business. So pretty cool little thing I had here. I don't know how it was still in here, but it was. That's all I've used so far. I still need to do the center vent for the AC. I am gonna have to drill some holes for that. I'm probably gonna do that next. And since everything is moving so quick, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do the steering column. So I'll bring y'all back. All right, YouTube, so we're back. It's the next day. This is pretty much how far I got yesterday. Not a whole lot left. This took me about a couple of hours. It took me longer to find, you know, the little screws and stuff. I had them labeled and bagged, but man, I have stuff everywhere. So that actually took me longer than putting this together. I got my glove box. A box in the original box. I have the original light for it, so all that's ready to go. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this already, but everything just fell right into place. So that's perfect. So today's project, I'm gonna go ahead and put in the steering column. And then after that, I'll go ahead and install the cluster bezels. I painted them already. I don't have my Dakota yet, but I am gonna install them anyways, so I can get them off of the shelf. But this is what we're doing today. This is the paintable steel Ididit column. It's I think it's an 8-position tilt. It's really nice. To me, the best thing about it is that it plugs right into the American auto wire harness. So there's no fooling around with these. You just plug them in and you're ready to go. I painted already, obviously. I will put the part number for this. I'll put the whole link in the description for the steering column. This is pretty much what I had in the Red Rocket. Paintable steel, Ididit, column shift, 8-position tilt. Has a built-in hazards right here. And this is the original piece for the original column. I don't know how I'm gonna mount this yet, but I'm gonna find a way to put it back here like the original one. I might have to take this off. Well, actually, I know I will. And then this, just to slide that in before anything. I'll figure that out. It does utilize 2 bolts right here, 2 nuts. I'm sorry, 2 bolts. So I'm gonna have to self-tap. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to tap this right here and then make my thread. Use a tap and die set, thread it. That way I can screw these into here. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do that yet, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Here are the steering joints for it. This is a CPP. There's the part number here. These are the exact part numbers I used on the Red Rocket. So UJ 1724, and then on the other side we have, where's the part number at? UJ4. So I'll let you know on what side what goes. I don't remember off the top of my head. Here's the shaft. This is an 18-inch shaft. These come in 2 sizes, and I don't know if this is the right size, but we're gonna find out. So if not, I'll get the other size. But the part number for that is right there, 1870-18. I am running a CPP 500 gearbox. There it is right here. So everything should pretty much fall into place. That's the goal anyways, that's the hope. So I'm gonna go ahead and push this car over so I can get on this side and start working on the steering column. All right, I got this bracket off and I got the neutral safety switch off. I just wrapped it a little bit. So before I run it through the firewall, I'm gonna go ahead and install this piece. And then after the firewall, I'll go ahead and put in the boot. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this in now. Okay, so here's where we are. Nothing's tight. So before you slide in the steering column through the firewall, make sure you slide in this original piece. This is the original piece for the 59 column. And then your wiring, you wanna run that through also. Don't tighten nothing. Everything is just snug. Let me see. I got it with these two nuts right here. This bracket comes off, so I just slipped it on, and then I tightened these a little bit. So there's enough slack on it to where I can move the steering column front and back. You don't want to tighten nothing yet because you got to take care of the outside first. So there's that. It's getting there, right? So here's the stock steering boot. So apparently the Ididit has got more girth than what the original one did. It's thicker. So I pretty much got to cut all the way to that lip right there. I don't want to do that. I hope I can cut it nice and clean. I don't have a choice. It will not go in. All right, I got the steering boot back on. Here's the piece I cut out. Fairly clean, fairly clean. So before you go connecting your steering to your gearbox, you need to put this back on. This is for your linkage that goes to the transmission. So don't forget that. So let me get these in. That's just a sequence for the outside. Your boot, you do your boot, and then this little bracket for the gear selector. And then you can go ahead and do the rest of it. So let me get this on and I'll bring y'all back. All right, this is where y'all need to pay attention if you want to learn something. You want to do this right. So this one right here, it goes straight from the steering column to the steering shaft, and then the steering shaft goes down here to the gearbox. So these two sides are the same size. They're 3/4, and 36. It should be stamped on here. Yeah, there it is. 3/4 36, both sides. This one goes to the steering column. This is an 18-inch shaft. Should fit. This one here is also 3/4 36, but the one that goes on the gearbox is 3/4 and 30. So write that down, remember it, go back, rewind the video, look at the part numbers, because this is what you need for the CPP 500 gearbox, your steering shaft, and these to match up with your Ididit column. There it is. There's all the information right there. Easy does it. So that's the reason you don't tighten your steering column right away, because you have to move it back and forth a little bit to get these in, get them tight, then you tighten your steering column. So let me do that and I'll bring y'all back. Okay, so back in here, now what I need to do is drill and tap some holes here to the steering column, and go ahead and put the original bolts that go right here. And I have the original rubbers that go right here on both sides. It's just a little thin rubber that goes right there. And then this part will be done. So the goal for this, if you guys are doing it, this part from here to here is the part that turns when you change gears. So you don't want that rubbing on here. So that's where you got to kind of play with it a little bit and find the sweet spot to where after you bolt it in, it's not going to rub on this. So I got it set right there. So now I just got to drill some holes and add the bolts. So I already got one in. These are the original ones for this piece right here. For the old steering column, I had everything saved and bagged, labeled and all that. So this one's already in, the first one. So now I'm just tapping this one so I can go ahead and finish that. I also had the rubbers that go on both sides along with these. So that's back where it needs to be. Okay, so this part of the install is all done. I already showed you the outside of it. It's all finished, everything came out good. Now these are the levers that come with it. This is for the tilt, this is for the blinkers, this is for the hazards, and this is for the shift knob. Here's the original one for the blinkers. I have a couple options for these, but if I do keep this style, I'm gonna paint these gloss black, just base and clear. But if not, here is my switch panel for my hydraulics. As you can see, these switch extensions are custom made, and they're made to match the rest of the knobs on the car. So they match 59 and 60 knobs. I made this piece in the back out of a piece of dash that I bought. I just cut it out, I dremeled it, then I polished it, and then I made it an insert for this switch panel. And then I got these custom switch extensions. So the guy who made these, he also makes these ends for the steering column. So he'll make them for the hazard, blinkers, all that. So I don't know if it's gonna look tacky or maybe like it's too much. I haven't decided yet, but if I don't go this route, to match, I'll just paint these gloss back. So we'll see. I still need to decide. I'm gonna go ahead and put these on just so I won't lose them. I'm just throwing away boxes, everything that I'm getting off of the shelves, I'm getting rid of it. So I'm just making space here. This is a really nice piece. These are Carling switches. Those are the only ones that I recommend for hydraulics. These are proven switches. They don't get stuck. They're really nice. And I'm gonna go ahead and mount this thing right now after I install those levers on the steering column. So this is gonna go exactly right here. So as you can see, the lines match from the top to the bottom. They flow all the way through, and it sits right in between the steering column and the AC vent. So after I get these levers on, these knobs, I'm gonna go ahead and install my switch panel. That looks excellent. And then after that, I'm gonna bring my steering wheel. I restored it, and I wanna show it to you guys and go ahead and get that installed as well. So I'll bring y'all back. I went ahead and put these on. So let me know what y'all think, man. Should I do the original style knob on these or just paint them black? Let me know what y'all think. So here is the switch panel. It is on. Lowrider Dreaming over here. It looks lovely. I'm really happy with this. It's one of my favorite pieces on the dash. So here is the steering wheel. This is the original factory steering wheel. There was no cracks in this thing, so it was really easy to restore. I mean, it didn't take almost any effort, but this thing came out excellent because it was already excellent. It was just faded, you know, from the original color, but man, look at that. This thing came out perfect. So here's the steering wheel. This is the original steering wheel to the car. And man, this thing was in excellent condition. So it didn't take much to restore it. I just sanded it with the 600 grit. And then I sealed it. And then right after I sealed it, I went straight to base and clear. And it came out excellent. I'm not gonna be able to put it completely on today because the trim that goes in the middle is at the chrome platers. I'm getting all that redone because it had some scratches on it. But I'm gonna go ahead and just sit it into place here so I can look at it. I did buy these little, where they at? These little pieces that go for the paint dividers. They don't fit that great. There's only one company that makes these that I know of, and they're from overseas. So these are gonna take a little trimming to put on because I can get them close, but they won't snap all the way in. It could be because of the clear and the base, maybe, but I just need to spend a little time, trim them, and then make sure they insert all the way. They're close, Just need to work them a little more. Interesting little pieces. When I took off the original ones, they all but one of them broke, so I had to get some new ones. Let me see. Yep, there it is. I just went ahead and sat that there. I don't have my Dakota yet, so I still need to cut and buff them. I sanded these already so you can see they're kind of dull. Just need to buff them out, and then I think I'm just gonna sit them in there after I buff them out until I get my Dakota. That way, you know, they won't get damaged, or, you know, I won't have to move them from place to place. But there is the wheel. It looks great. Everything came out good. Don't know what else to add to this video. I was originally just gonna do the dash. Since the dash went so quick, you know, all these parts just fell into place. You know, that's why I decided to go ahead and do the steering wheel and the steering column and all that. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I think next, I might do the headliner next. So I might do the headliner, and then after that, the glass. I would do the glass first, but man, it gets hot in here and I need the breeze. So I'll probably just knock out the headliner and then do the glass. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. It really just depends how I'm feeling, I guess. So man, I appreciate y'all watching. I did take a little break from this car, so that's why you haven't seen any videos. I was just kind of tired of it. I get bored really quick of things, and I just have to be in the mood, you know, to get things going. But I'm excited. I'm glad I just came in here and did this. It was just a last minute thing. I was gonna go do something else, and I was like, man, let me just work on my car. So this time, I knew once I started working on it, I'm not gonna stop. So I'm gonna be having continuous videos, you know, knocking this thing out. I have a lot of stainless I need to polish. So after the headliner and the glass, I'll start doing the stainless on the outside after I polish it, and then I'll do the power windows, make sure all the windows are good. I got power vents, power windows, and then I can do the stainless on the doors on the outside first, and just start putting this thing together. So I appreciate y'all watching. If you have any questions, just let me know. I don't know what else to add. As far as the dash, it was really simple. It was like too simple. There's not a whole lot to it. There is another video, I think I mentioned that already, for the holes on the AC vents. That was really easy. That's a short video. I think it's like a 7-minute video. But yeah, if y'all can think of anything, let me know. I'll answer it to the best of my knowledge, and we'll bring you back, man. I'll see y'all on the next one. Appreciate it.